How many of you hit golf shots just like that where you think not too bad, but it comes up short? Today guys, we're going to be talking about how we can get better in the winter, because we all want to improve in the winter, and the biggest thing that I see from a lot of amateur golfers, including the one we've got here with us today, is under hitting. It's very rare that I see people go past the green because they don't know how far they actually hit their golf club. So if you live near a Trackman range like here at Waterfront Golf or a Top Tracer range, go and start to get your numbers, or even go and see your PGA Pro and just say before the season, can I start to get my gapping? Can I start to get how far I hit my clubs, but mainly focus on how far you carry them. This is a prime example here on the Golf Zone Simulator. So if I hit another shot here, you'll have seen that there are bunkers just in front of that green. Although I've sent that one out to the right, you'll see here now it's all about how far that carries. So that for me there carried 164. On a golf course probably would have got to around about 170, 175 like this distance shot is, but there's bunkers in the way. It hasn't carried that far. So you need to start to understand how far your golf clubs carry, not just the total number, because a lot of the times we're coming up short, we're going into bunkers at the front of the green, we're going into water, and we're never getting pin high. If you take one extra golf club, I can pretty much say that you will hit at least a couple more greens around, and a couple more greens does mean already that you're going to maybe save a couple of shots per round. That's going to help you get your handicap down. But in the winter, if you are practicing, what you want to do is start to go, okay, I need to stop aiming for that target at 174, because I know there I've hit a couple of good shots, but I've not reached. So on the driving range, at your driving range, so there will be different targets. And what I want you to do is pick a target where you can start to get your ball to land there. So if there's a 150-yard target, perfect. Start to find which club in your golf bag lands at that 150 number, not the one that would bounce maybe 10 yards before and trickle up and just get there. You don't want to be that guy who says, well, I can get a pitching wedge to 150 yards. Hit it as hard as you can. Yes, you thin it, it lands at 140 and it maybe goes 155. So let's swing in balance. Let's make sure we can be nice and consistent and start to hit shots that are pitching on the green, landing on the green. Here, that's now landed pin high, 161 yards carry. That's my 7-iron, so I now know that if I hit a couple more here, I'm certainly going to start to bet in exactly how far that goes. And you want to be doing that with every golf club, guys, because on the golf course we know we're going to get different shots, and we want to be able to maximise how many times we can hit the greens, because that's going to help your handicap. Again here, if I go one more with this 7-iron, that was a better swing and a better strike. Let's see, is that going to land on the green? That has landed on the fringe and stopped pretty close. So a better swing there. I'm starting to get my numbers. Instead of me telling my friends that I hit my 7-iron 175 yards, I've knocked that back to 165, and if I can hit more greens than them, I'm more than likely going to hold maybe a couple more putts. I'm going to shoot lower scores. But let's see what Dave's numbers are now, because Dave is a mid-handicap golfer, and sometimes what we see with him, you maybe, yes, you start with that pitcher wedge on the driving range like we always see, you hit a couple of shots, right, yeah, okay, oh yeah, I've flushed that, I'm nice and loose now. So what I'll do is I'll get the driver out, and I'm going to go and hit 45 of my 50 balls with a driver, and go home sweating and having to get a shower. Let's start to see what numbers Dave gets, and it's about being realistic and making sure that he knows exactly how far each club's going to go. Today what we're going to do is just go through his evens. So nice and easy, he's going to start with his pitching wedge. We're then going to go up to his 8-iron, then to his 6-iron, and then we'll be moving into his hybrids. I believe he might got a hybrid at a 6-iron, so we'll certainly see that. Let's start to see the gapping distances there, and let's see how you can improve your scores for next year. So in comes Dave. We have been outside already, so he is loose as a goose, so I've got no excuses hopefully from him today. But first of all, Dave, pitching wedge, how far is your pitching wedge going?
About 100 yards, Chris.
Okay, perfect. About 100 yards, so we're going to put this to the test for Dave. I've got it set at 98 yards here on the Golf Zone Simulator. So let's see if Dave is telling the truth, or he's telling his friends he hits it further than he does. So I'm sure Scottish Paul will comment if he has been lying to him. Pretty good, carried 97, finished at 100. So let's go one more with that, Dave, before we jump up, because you might find that Dave's correct here with the pitching wedge, but maybe he's not so sure on his 8-iron. You know, you will all have a favourite club in your bag and you'll know the distance of that one, but it's making sure you know the distance for all of them. So a little bit of a miss strike.
That wasn't best strike in the world. But
I mean, it's the old good bad one, they'd say on the golf course. Scottish Paul would be fuming with that one. But landed at 90, gone 100, that's just a simple miss strike, so that's exactly what we expect. Let's jump to your 8-iron now, Dave, and what would you say your 8-iron goes?
what? Carry or
Yeah.
total?
Carry.
I would expect about 125.
125. Well, let's get a shot on here now, so let's move you back. So guys, we're in at 120 now. Dave says this should carry 125, so it's all about seeing if this is right as well. Let's see. Imbalance. Good strike. It sounded good.
Go.
Let's see for Dave. Go. Oh, 113 carry. Gone 120, so 10 yards down of what he normally would do, but that wasn't a perfect strike, Dave?
No,
No.
it was awful.
And this is where, obviously, there Dave would say, oh, on the golf course, well, I could jump at a 9-iron.
Yeah, normally I hit it 125 easy.
Yeah, no, I could have jumped on a 9-iron. But here, this is where you want to go. Even an off-centred hit, what's going to carry the trouble? Even here, yes, Dave might reach with a out-of-this-world 9-iron. A controlled 8 could be better. Strike-wise, Dave?
Not good.
Not good.
It got there.
115. So this is really showing for Dave, this is a good practice because he starts to know even off a miss hit how far it's going to go. So one more, Dave. Better shot?
Much better.
Okay, let's see. It's flying a little bit further. 126 carry. Perfect. So that's a great example there. Obviously, Dave's absolutely flushed that one, hit it out of the screws, and it has got to that 126 number. So again, for me, his probably average is closer to 120 for the carry distance, and that's what I would prefer to see, because obviously the pitching wedge was going 100. That means his 9-iron is going to carry around about 110, and his average with his 8-iron is going to carry around about 120. So we know then, realistically, we should start to see the 7-iron would be right up there at 130, and then the 6-iron, which is his hybrid, so he does go to an 11 hybrid there, might go that little bit further, but at the top end of the bag you might see a bigger gap in. You might see 15 yards at the top end of your bag. I'd like to see it closer at the bottom, so you've got a little bit more control and you've got more options if you make a little bit of a shorter motion. Right, so we did say obviously the 7-iron there should be carrying around about 130. Dave doesn't actually know how far this goes because he's not took the time to actually go to the range to practice with this club in the last 6 months that he's just informed me. So we're playing a bit of a lottery here. This is what we're doing. We don't know how far this is going to carry, so let's see.
Every day is a surprise, Chris.
It is. We're living life in the moment, one would say. Sounds a good strike, Dave. Good launch.
That's a decent shot for me, is that,
The
mate?
best you can do. 150 carry, so pretty good there. 150 going 155. So that's exactly why Dave's got those in his bag at the moment, because of obviously that landing angle. Stopped pretty quickly there and held the green. Let's go one more.
A little bit towy, but not terrible.
Let's see.
Oh.
Would have got a 140 carry, so
Yeah.
again that's
It's just
about a 10 yards. So this is really showing the point there. For the average there, if we took it from just 2 shots, Davey's going to hit another, but we'll be looking at a 15-yard gap to his 7-iron. Again, the 6-iron that he does have in the Tacoma clubs, which we'll be getting back out maybe in the summer months, it's going to get a little bit lower launch, maybe a longer run. Good shot there, turned over a little bit, but let's see. 153 going 160. So very interesting there, guys. Obviously from there, Dave's got that average where it's around about 15 yards from his 7-iron to his 6-iron. He may even have a 6-iron at the same time and remove something from the top end of his bag depending on space. But this is something that you really need to do in the winter. Either go and see a PGA professional, go to your local Trackman range like here at Waterfront Golf. Start to know how far your clubs carry. Start getting over the trouble next year, start hitting more greens, and we're going to start to see your handicap come down. After all, that's what we all want to see.